Yeah, good evening all. Now I am going to explain about some problems on block diagram reduction technique. Okay, see here, from this given block diagram we need to calculate transfer function C of S by R of S. Here also I can use by using signal flow graph method only. First step 1 is to identify the number of forward paths and number of loops. See here, number of forward paths is nothing but G1 to G2 to G4 is one forward path, right? That is the path from input to output, right? Similarly, next forward path is from G1 to G4. Next third forward path is G1 to G2 to G4. Okay, those are nothing but forward paths. That means three forward paths. Then three forward path gains are M1 is first forward path gain, that is G1, G3, G4. G1, G3, G4. Next M2 is next forward path G1 to G4. M2 is G1, G4. Next M3 is G1 to G2 to G4. Okay, that means total there are three forward paths, that is G1, G2, G4, right? Forward paths is completed, right? Next, identify the loop gains, loops and loop gains. Loop gain is nothing but, here this is one loop, right? This is loop. Loop gain is nothing but G4 into H1, here minus, right? Negative feedback. That means loop gain, that is L1 is equals to minus G4 into H1 is one loop gain, right? Next, G1, G3, G4 into this one. See here, G1, G3, G4 to minus negative feedback. This is 1. Okay, that is nothing but another loop gain. Loop 2 is equals to minus G1, G3, G4. This is one loop, right? Minus G1, G3, G4. Next, see here G1 to G2 to G4 to minus 1 is nothing but another loop gain, that is third loop. Loop 3, that is minus G1, right? Minus G1, G2, G4 to minus 1. Okay, after that delta is equals to 1 minus sum of loop gains, right? That is L1 plus L2 plus L3, right? Plus product of loop two non-touching loop gains. Okay, this is loop 1. Loop 1 is touching with loop 2 and this loop 1 is touching with loop 3, right? That means no non-touching loop, 0. There is no two touching loop, means there is no three non-touching loops. Okay, that means up to this point is over. Then delta is 1 minus, here all in L1, L2, L3, in all values minus is there, right? Here also minus is there. Minus of minus you will get plus, that is G4 H1 plus G1 G3, G1 G3 G4 plus G1 G2 G4. That is delta, right? Next, delta 1. What is my delta 1? The value of delta which is non-touching to the first forward path. The value of delta which is non-touching to the first forward path, right? What is the first forward path? G1 G3 G4, right? G1 G3 G4 is having every loop, right? That means it is touching loop 1, it is touching loop 2, it is touching loop 3, right? Loop 1 is touching to the first forward path, loop 2, right? Loop 2 is touching to the first forward path, loop 3 is also touching with the first forward path. That means 1 minus 0. Similarly, delta 2, that is G1 G4, right? This G1 to G4 is touching with first loop as well as second loop as well as third loop, right? That means delta 2 value is also 0. Similarly, delta 3 value, this is third forward path also is having every loop is touching, right? That means delta 1 value, delta 2 value, delta 3 value is 1, right? Then transfer function C of S by R of S is equals to Mason's gain formula M1 delta 1, right? Delta 1 value is 1, that is G1, G3, G4 plus M2 delta 2. Directly M2 value is G1, G4 into again 1 delta 2 plus M3 delta 3 G1, G2, G4 by delta. Delta value will be 1 plus G4 H1 plus G1, G3, G4 plus G1, G2, G4. Okay, this is the transfer function. In this way we can solve the problems. That means if you practice more and more problems, it will take very less time. That means directly by seeing the diagram only you can observe that it is having 3 forward paths, 1, 2, 3, like that, right? Directly you can write first forward path equation. After that directly you can write delta value, which value is not touching. That means directly you can write the transfer function based upon practice. Okay, next second problem. Determine C of S by R of S from the given block diagram. Now see here, from this given block diagram it is having forward path 1, forward path 2, 2 forward paths and 1 loop. Okay, now see here, first forward path is 1 by S plus 2 into 1 by S. Okay, that is M1 value is, better you can represent here 1 by S plus 1. Okay, first forward path gain is 1 by S plus 1 into 1 by S, right, from this block diagram. Next second forward path is, here minus is there, right, minus 1, that is the meaning, minus 1 into 1 by S. M2 value is minus 1 by S, right? Next loops, only one loop is possible, right? That is 1 by S into S plus 1, here plus 1, but here negative feedback, that is minus, loop 1 is equals to minus, starting is minus, right, negative feedback, S into S plus 1 minus 1 by S into S plus 1, right? Next see here, first forward path is touching with loop 1, second forward path is also touching with loop 1, right? That means delta 1 value is 1, delta 2 value is 1, right? Then Mason's gain formula, M is equals to C of S by R of S is equals to M1 delta 1, that value will be 1 by S into, right, 1 by S into S plus 1 plus M2 value is minus 1 by S into 1, right, that is delta 2. Next delta, right, delta is nothing but 1 minus sum of loops, only one loop is present, here minus of minus you will get plus, that is 1 by S into S plus 1, right? If I simplify this equation, S into S plus 1 is LCM, here you will get 1 minus S plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by S into S plus 1, that is equals to 1 minus S minus 1, minus 1 plus 1 will be cancelled, here LCM is S into S plus 1, denominator also here LCM is S into S plus 1 is the LCM, right? In numerator will get S into S plus 1 plus 1, right? Here S into S plus 1, here S into S plus 1 will be cancelled, then the resultant value will be minus S by S into S, S square, right? S plus 1 is the answer. Now see here, from the given options, first option is 1 by S square plus S plus 1, that is not correct. Second option is minus S by S square plus S plus 1, right? That means second option is correct. Okay, similarly last problem. Now see here, from the given figure we need to calculate again C of S by R of S, right? First identify the number of forward paths. Okay, now see here, this system is having only one forward path. Okay, that is M1 is equals to G1, G2, G3, G1, G2, G3. Next loops, this is loop 1, here negative feedback, here minus, right? Then loop 1 is minus G1, G2, H1, loop 1 L1 is equals to minus G1, G2, H1, right? From this figure, this is loop 1. Next loop 2, minus G2 G3 H1, minus G2 G3 H1, both are H1 is given, no problem, right? Next, only one forward path means you are having delta 1. Okay, this forward path is having all loops, right? Delta 1 value is 1, right? Then Mason's gain formula, right? Then Mason's gain formula, m is equals to, m is equals to m1 delta 1 by delta, that is equals to m1 value g1 g2 g3 into 1. Delta 1 value is 1, right? Delta is nothing but 1 minus sum of loops, right? Here L1 plus L2 starting minus of minus, again you will get plus, right? G1 G2 H1 plus G2 G3 H1. Okay, next, plus sum of product of two non-touching loops, right? There is no non-touching loop, that means problem is over. Okay, in this way we can solve problems on signal flow graphs and black diagram reduction techniques. Okay, thank you all.